Welcome back to the Marketing Madmen on Extra 106.3. Nick Constantino here with Andy Christiansen, Trip Job, and we have covered so much. I hope you appreciate the lightning round because this is knowledge, but most importantly, this is real talk. We don't even have a script in front of us. I have a list of what Andy's done, and that's the extent of what we've talked about. We've weaved in, we've weaved out, but I promise you, if you listen in whole, you're gonna sound like we know what the hell we're talking about, which is always the goal of this thing. But what I want to end with is, all right, so you have the Chinese working 90 hours a week, putting out economic output, learning electric cars, chips, all the things that we were so good at. We are breeding children that are coming out with none of the skills that are required for the workforce that's in front of us. Entrepreneurship is not taught. We are pretty much taught to be sheep. We are taught to hear one level of history of this country from a white European man's background, not the struggle. We don't learn. I don't need a fix of the educational system, but what do we have to start doing? What can we start instilling in our kids to make them more equipped for what the future will be? Because right now I am worried that superpower status will not be lost because of economics, but because of the workforce that we are putting out there.
Dropping the anvil.
I had to do it. It's just been brewing up in me.
I love it. Yeah, I have this big opinion, I guess I'll say. You went to get pizza while you're in Queens through, part mafia, part gangs. Who knew what you were going through? And I don't know if we do enough of that anymore. I'm not saying everyone should live in that type of an area, be put to harm. But our lives are so easy now as kids. It's cushy, and so they don't have to work hard. Their parents do everything for them. Yeah, mom and dad can help me if I need help. And I'm not saying we were that much of a better parents. We made our kids cut grass and do chores and stuff where most people didn't. But I think a lot of it comes back to upbringing and helping our kids do hard things. Are they doing hard things anymore?
So the only challenge I'm going to give there is that it has been proven time and time again that your upbringing these days solely relies on the amount of success and money your parents have. That they're not kids rising from adversity anymore. They're not kids. Those kids are the ones that get into the violence and the drugs because we've segregated those neighborhoods so far away from each other. So my challenge is that I completely agree with you, but if that was the case, why are there not more people rising from the lower class to the middle class to the upper class? Because it's not happening anymore. The American dream, when my grandfather came from Italy and my mother came from Italy, was work hard and you can make it. We've lost that in the culture of this country. Talk about culture. We've lost that. People don't feel that anymore.
But even any levels of adversity, going back to the stat about 92% don't want conflict. I don't think we teach any level of adversity. It doesn't have to be maybe the same levels that we had, but I think one of the greatest quotes I have is this founder of Spanx talked about their family every day at the dinner table, talked about what did you fail at today, and I just it doesn't have to be running through the middle of Queens, but I think having those things of adversity, learning to overcome those, is something that
we're terrified. We're terrified of failure. And we instill in such young children the fear of, God forbid this teacher doesn't like you. Yeah. And I'm not going to put criticism of teachers. They do omen's work. That is an impossible task to take these people. But I'm saying that not everybody learns the same way. And if she got a bad English grade but a great math grade, she's going to be a math kid. Why is this so complicated, right? And then the problem is like in Brazil, if you are a dummy, you go to trade school to learn to work with your hands. They clearly say you're not going to be smart. Why are we making kids that are not built to be in this world, in this fast-paced literary world? Go be a plumber. We need plumbers. We're not instilling the value set which best represents what we need out of these people, personally, I think.
Yeah, I think it's back to every 4 years you're a freshman again, and we're not embracing that. We're stuck in senioritis. Well, this is the way we've always done it in the educational system. I have a friend who's high up at Coke, and he says now, I don't want people with degrees. I want them with certifications. He'd rather have someone with a local certification like UX designer, user experience.
And those are free, by the way. You can get an AI crash course from Google so fast. If you really do it, you're going to be better equipped than most of the people out there.
Well, that's his point. He said, I know they can come in and hit the ground running, where if they have a 4-year degree somewhere, I'm going to have to apprentice them.
Yeah, especially if it's a liberal arts college.
Well, and they took the initiative maybe to get that certification.
If they did both,
right,
they're in the catbird seat, yeah.
Right. So, okay, what are your other thoughts around how do we grow this next
as bosses, as with our kids? What other things can we do to get them more equipped?
All right, I'm gonna give you the key to my second book that's coming out, and it's all around one question. And I think if we could populate this with I want to help 100 million people get purpose statements. And it's by this question. If you had $10 million in the bank, what would you do for work?
I would put it into an annuity that makes 7%, and I would travel the world.
Yeah. So you become a traveler. But if you had...
And I would document my travel because I would want other people that have the opportunity to do so to travel in the way I do, because I'm not a big money spender. I'm going to find the little nooks of the world that no one's ever seen and go enjoy the best of that culture and share it with the world.
I just don't think there's enough people that are thinking through what is my unique ability in this planet? And they're just going through school, and then maybe they get an accounting degree and they become an accountant. Nothing wrong with being an accountant.
Yeah.
But if that wasn't your dream or your passion, you may not be a great accountant.
Do you believe that the corporate leaders of America are more like your buddy at Coca-Cola, or do you more believe that they want the sheep to just do what they say? Are we seeing a changing of the guard there? Because it's not going to happen there unless we make a change at the top.
I'd still say they're sheep.
Yeah, damn shame.
I say the boomers have been doing it the way they've been taught to do it by their mentors, and I think Gen X is following suit with boomers. I keep asking and wondering, will millennials who have been complaining about how things are run, we're not self-actualizing anyone, we're not with purpose statements, we don't have our core values on the walls, are they going to do it?
Yeah.
Or are they going to follow suit and be sheep?
I love it. So by the time we air this, the book will probably be out. So tell people where to find the book.
Yeah, you'll be able to find it on Amazon, my website, andychristiansen.com. as well, and it'll be called Minute to Meaning.
And I'm going to do that with my sales team, and then I'm going to do the opening for this show. I'm going to do a little blurb of what I learned from asking that from my sales team to make sure we had some practical application. And because we talked about it at the end, I'm going to start with that, and then we'll really do this thing full circle. This was a good one, Trip. I think we did a good job, man.
No, now
Andy, much
I
appreciated.
learned about your exercise habits too. So now
there you go.
No surprise, you're multitasking there. But anyway,
there you go.
Andy, this is awesome, and you've been listening to the Marketing Madmen on Extra 106.3, and we'll be back next week.